Hey guys, I got something really cool in today. It's another vintage Fender amp. I'm gonna go ahead and get it unboxed. It just came in from Reverb, came all the way from New Jersey, and let's open it up, check it out, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about it. Super excited to see this one in person. Obviously seen a bunch of pictures of it, haven't heard it, but it should be really cool. Hopefully it was packed well. Box looks like it's in okay shape. Okay, so here it looks like we have the handle, which, as you can see, is it's falling apart pretty badly, as a lot of these tweed handles do. But the nice thing is about these is the leather's still in good shape. It's just the stitching that's come apart. So if I can get this thing stitched back together, it'll actually work pretty well because the leather hasn't cracked, it hasn't fallen apart. Like I said, it's just the stitching. So we have that, which is cool. And then we have the brackets for the handle. And then it looks like we have a couple of replaced caps here. We have 3 of the yellow Astron signal caps and 1 of the electrolytic caps. Anyway, so here we have it. As you guys can see, it is a 1958 Tweed Vibrolux, and it actually looks in a lot better condition than it did in the pictures, which is cool. It definitely is beat up. It has worn in tweed. As you can see, there's cigarette burns on the top. It's definitely yellowed quite a bit compared to my other one, but it's not the darkest tweed I've seen. I had a little Champ that had super dark tweed on it. The control panel's in really nice condition. The preamp tubes are still in there in the amp, so hopefully those are good still. But yeah, this thing is really cool, man. Super excited to check this thing out. Alright, so I'm actually going to get this back panel off first and put my rectifier and power tubes in. This thing just has that tweed mojo going on. You know, you can't fake this. This is 60 years of being played every day. And as you can see, the back panel still has that sheet of asbestos insulation on there. Not that I had any concerns with this amp being retweeted or anything, but that is definitely one way to tell if an amp has been retweeted, is if you take that off and it's not on there and you already had suspicions that it was retweeted. Here we have Sovtech 12AX7, and I got a bunch of old stock preamp tubes, RCAs, Amperex, Philips, GE, all that good stuff. So I'll probably do a little bit of tube rolling on here and see what really sounds good in it. In my other Vibrolux, I have a Amperex Bugle Boy in V1 and an RCA 7025 in V2, and to me those just sound great in that amp, so I'll probably end up picking something similar for this one as well. I don't have any old 6v6s though, so these JJs will have to do for now. And tube sockets are kind of loose, so I'll probably tension those a little bit once I get to working on the amp some more. Yeah, this first 6v6 just kind of slides right in there, whereas normally you'd want to give it have a little bit of tension. All right, now that I have the tubes in, I'm gonna go ahead and put the handle on. The handle, like I showed, is separating quite a bit, so I won't be using the handle to lift the amp at all, but I will put it on there just so that we can see how it looks, and also to help avoid some shrinkage of the leather. It can shrink just like the old pick guards on Fender guitars and even Gibsons. So I like to keep it on there. I am going to be trying to restore the handle, like I said, so I want to try and keep it as in as good a condition as it can be. So I have some plans for this Vibrolux. I'm going to be hanging on to it for a while, that's for sure. I already checked it out a little bit just to make sure everything was working, and it does sound amazing. And it does sound different than the other Vibrolux that I have, but we'll get more into that in a future video. So what my plans are for this is to kind of restore it electronically a little bit. The circuit does have quite a few changed capacitors, and they use caps that I'm not too happy with, such as like Sprague orange drops. I think those look terrible in tweed amps. They might sound okay, but part of it for me is the look too when you pop that back panel off. And it was recapped with some FNTs, but I'm going to be putting some Sprague filter caps in there, and I was able to get a couple of the sleeves from the original Astrons that I'll put on there too, just to help restore the look a little bit. And I won't be putting yellow Astrons back in there because they're notoriously leaky. They're super expensive on eBay, so I didn't really want to spend big bucks on a cap that has a 75% chance that it's not going to work when it shows up. It's going to have too much leakage on it. You can, I know Millstab has some really good videos on the yellow Astrons and putting those back into tweed amps, especially tweed Bassmans, and I'm going to go based off of his results. He was only able to find leaky ones, and they're pretty expensive. So if you've seen my other video, you would know that I have another 1958 Tweed Vibrolux, and it's actually in way better condition than this one is, cosmetically and circuit wise. But why I really wanted to go for this amp was because not only for the mojo that it has, the tweed is crazy, you know, it has that feel of an old tweed amp, has the original P10R speaker, and what really made me want to go for this amp is that it actually has the same tube chart stamp as HH, which would be August of 1958, as my other Tweed Vibrolux. So they were put out of the Fender factory the same month. The serial numbers are pretty close. They're less than 75 serial numbers away from each other. And being that I love my other Tweed Vibrolux so much, I always want to take it over to my buddy's house, take it out whenever I go play, but the tweed is in such good condition that I'm always nervous that I'm gonna, you know, start to fray the tweed, or it's gonna start to change color. The tweed is super fragile, so this one's gonna be my beater. It's gonna be the one that I take around and play with me, since I don't have to worry about the tweed being in amazing condition. It sounds almost as good, just as good as my other one. The tremolo even sounds a little bit better to me, but it was really that HH tube chart stamp that really did it for me. I know it's cheesy, but I just wanted to have two Tweed Vibroluxes that came out of the Fender factory at the same time. Who knows, it could have been one early in the month and one later in the month. It could have been the same week, it could have been the same day. There's really no way to tell, but everything dates up right. The speakers are 9 weeks apart in manufacture dates, which, you know, puts them pretty close. And this, like I said, the serial numbers are less than 75 numbers apart, and that's just what really turned me onto this amp. I knew it would be a really fun project to kind of restore it a little bit, and it's definitely a great player. So, and I'll give you guys a video demo in the next one, see how it sounds, and we'll even compare it to my other 1958 Tweed Vibrolux. So thanks for checking it out. Make sure you tune back in for the next step. And this is going to be a really fun project, so I'm excited to get going on it.